You're listening to The Sizzle, the talk of the 219, the hottest sports talk in the region, on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
You know who it is. You know what it is. It's The Sizzle, baby. Back in the building, hotter than ever, in Fuego. We are the talk of the 219. We're the hottest talk in regional sports. You know who's here. Rich Sizzle's here. Jay Sizzle's here. I'm G Sizzle. I'm here in the building, so you know what it's going to be. It's getting ready to get hot. But before we talk about the heat on this line, we got to talk about the heat that you're missing if you have not liked, subscribed, and shared. Make sure that you're hitting that button. Make sure that you're clicking the notification. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you get that notification. And if you want to leave comments, please feel free to do so below. Always, we feel love when we get comments, man. Hate them or love them, we still love y'all, and you love us, so it's all good, and we appreciate it. So listen,
baby,
we haven't talked about the Bears in a long time. I know we got NBA going on tonight, but let's talk about the Bears. You know what? We might spray all fields. You just never know what we might do today. But here we go. Your man, Justin Fields, highest paid Bears quarterback of this season. Well, not really, but he's the only one with fully guaranteed contract. He's got fully guaranteed.
Yeah, he's fully
money.
guaranteed. He ain't the highest paid.
No, he's not. But he
There's a
might
certain
be.
backup making a boatload of money.
He might be, because that backup may not be there. So, gentlemen, how do we feel about Justin Fields being the $18 million man with an $11 million signing bonus?
Hey, I got a question. What does fully guaranteed mean? I hear that a lot in sports, but then all of a sudden it's like, well, that guaranteed, that's a quid pro quo technicality. Yeah, it's really not. So what does fully guaranteed really mean in his contract?
Jay?
I do go, and back to you, Joe. No, but I believe fully guaranteed means exactly what it means, that he's going to get that money barring any break in the clause of his contract concerning morality or anything else like that. So what it means that if they cut him, they still owe him this money. So say he falls off the rails, something happens to him, injury goes on, anything else like that, they still owe him the full amount of his contract unless he breaches the contract in some way, shape, or form. Back to you.
Yeah, that's it. It's fully guaranteed, which means my man gets all his money unless he becomes a Lebanese hostage and he's taken away by a spaceship and Fox and Mulder are looking.
Or unless he throws a right to combination with an extra biscuit in an elevator to someone of the other gender. Some of these pro athletes have a tendency to do that every once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while, we're from the old school. So, your wife act up and you're like, hey, don't get in that elevator because I might have to give you one of these.
And why is the elevator all of a sudden a place where you just brutalize the chicks all of a sudden? That's just a space, you know what I'm saying?
It's somewhere where I think you would imagine the door is going to open at some point. Like somebody's going to see you and it's going to open up and they're going to look just like Rich Sizzle. They're gonna walk in like,
and there's some chick, and your chick laid down on the floor with her head leaning up against the door, just hitting her head like this, trying to close.
And you're just like, hey man, don't worry about it. No, come on in. What floor are you going to?
She always go to sleep like that on the elevator rides down there. It always gets.
Oh my God! Come on.
Say, hold on, excuse me. I'm just gonna pick her up and I'm gonna move over here. Don't worry about it, though.
Yeah, that's what Ray Rice tried to do. He just tried to pick his chick up, like, oh, she's always going to live like this. Don't worry about it. She's okay.
Okay, so can we ask this question? Why did Ray Rice try to act like this was normal? Like this is just something that just happens every day. Like, no, I mean, I didn't knock her out. What happened was I said, there's a fly near your head, and she didn't move when I said it was a fly near her head.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going through these guys. It's not right. I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. Look how much money. I mean, first thing is just morally wrong anyway to beat up on a woman. That's number one. And on the second side of it, look how much money you're losing being an idiot. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then now, but if she was 6'5" and 350 playing right tackle, you wouldn't have been doing all this trying to swing at her. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just trying to envision your wife being 6'5" and 350.
I don't think
we're in a new date and time now. Okay. There's nothing wrong if he wants to be called she, at least that's what they say. And you know, he's 6'5" and 350.
No, sir. No. There's nothing that 2 6'5", 350 men can do but just stand there.
Okay, that we didn't went too far. Anyway, going back to Justin Fields. Okay, so now there are some
stuff in there. Okay, I didn't
here.
say anything to that last whatever. Rich Sizzle is indemnified from all of that. All right.
There are some rumors out here that Justin Fields is having difficulty taking the QB to quarterback exchange from center because that's not what he has done in Ohio State. Is this going to be a problem down the road here that he's going to have to learn to acclimate his game to the NFL? Because we know in the NFL, you have to be able to take snaps from under center. You just can't stay in that shotgun or that pistol all day long. You can't do it in the NFL. Are we looking at a little bit of a problem here? Or is this just something, hey, I've never done it before, let's get it figured out?
Well, I think it's going to be a problem if you don't teach him how to do it. I mean, if you teach him how to do it, great. I mean, nobody comes into the league perfect. So when you got a young man who's not used to doing this before, all right, I give you that. I mean, I guess it happens. Hey, we had a quarterback before him that had a penchant for like throwing into triple coverage. I don't know. Can you not teach somebody to throw into triple coverage?
Hey, he's living dangerously.
Yeah, he lives real dangerously. You know who else is living dangerously while we're talking about dangerous living? It's Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is put out on them streets. He gave you that Ray Rice uppercut. Deshaun Watson has said, okay, you ready for this? Go ahead. He wants to be traded, and where he wants to go is Denver.
I'm sure he wants a lot of things. That don't mean you're going to get him. He's going to want him not to have to eat a pat of butter on his bologna sandwich or that hard bagel when he's on tier 4. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean just because you want, don't mean that's what you're going to get. He needs to try to hope he can stay out of jail.
Why does he want to go to Denver? I mean, does he really think that, like, if the women in Houston are all talking, he thinks he's going to go to Denver and they're not going to talk?
Well, it's higher altitude.
All right. All right. That makes all a bit of sense.
Yeah. Higher altitude, higher attitude, I guess. I don't know what makes sense with anything with Deshaun Watson. I'm just saying, if you're gonna make a negotiation, this contract, man, get this settlement done. Just go on. Take your little 3-4 game suspension. Go on and get out of Houston. Just go on. Be like
But why does he think that they're going to let him leave? You know what I'm saying? Why? I mean, I don't understand these guys. They're just going to force their way to another ball club. You got these owners now. Remember, there are very few team owners out here that the NFL football team is their main source of income. If they start allowing players to just strong arm their way out for teams, then everybody's going to try to do it. They're going to make some examples of some people. You're either going to play for me or you're not going to play at all. And Deshaun Watson probably won't be able to play because he's going to violate allegedly a tremendous amount of morals clauses coming up, maybe 60 of them. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be a problem.
But at least he didn't punch anybody in the elevator.
Not yet.
Not yet, but it could happen. And you know who else? Yeah. You know who else could get punched?
He probably did, but then, okay, he may not have punched nobody in the elevator, but I'm sure he did something else in the elevator that was inappropriate. Allegedly, of course. Allegedly.
Oh. Good.
He
shot it off. He shot it off.
Out of the 20 or 30 some complaints, there's nothing in there said about an elevator incident.
Not unless you put a massage chair in the elevator.
Wow. Okay.
Well, come on now. I mean,
Now,
if
That
we're
could be
gonna
something now. Think about it.
do some risk-based stuff,
Hey.
we gotta spice it up a little bit. I'm just saying.
Here's the question though: if Deshaun Watson doesn't show up for these mandatory mini camps, he's going to lose almost $100,000. But do they want him at these mini camps? And he's got all this lawsuit stuff going on. Do you really want him there?
I just want this to be done. How about that? Can we just?
But it ain't going. This ain't going away. This isn't going away. I mean, it hasn't even been resolved to this point. And you would think by now there's been enough time to pay everybody off, you know. And some of these women are like, I don't want to get paid. Nope, it's something needs to happen to them. This is going to be bad. This has R. Kelly written all over it.
Okay, all right. When it gets to R. Kelly talk, then we got to go.
Hey, you got you got R. Kelly. You got R. Kelly's lawyers right now talking about. I don't think I want to represent Robert Kelly anymore.
You know who else doesn't want to represent anybody? Is anybody playing for the Bucks against the Nets. At this point, I know it is game 3 and things could change. You go back to Milwaukee and you can get Milwaukee and you get some cream and then you get a buck and then I don't know what could happen. Gentlemen, I believe the series is over. Finito, finished. When you can't beat a team James Hardenless and you can't stop the uber guard in Kevin Durant, yeah, I don't know what else you do. I don't know. I'm baffled. Defunded.
Kevin Durant is on the pantheon of the greatest comebacks from injury in any sport ever. We have seen what these Achilles injuries do to players. We saw what happened to Kobe Bryant. We saw what happened to many guys who tried to come back. Kevin Durant looks as slick as he looked 2 or 3 years before the injury. I saw Kevin Durant break Giannis down from the three-point line, took him to the basket, Euro-stepped him, and then reversed on the other side. 7'1", gliding to the basket like that at full speed. I haven't seen Kevin Durant like that in years. I don't know what did he do? Whatever this workout program, they need to bottle this and sell this because Kevin Durant looks as good as I've ever seen him look. And right now, they're on a mission. I think the Bucks had a better chance to beat the Nets with Harden than now without. Because now you have Kyrie and KD fully focused. Have you seen Kyrie like this? I mean, literally every time he's coming off that high pick and roll screen, he is coming downhill with bad intentions. The floaty game's going. The handles are all over the place. I mean, you got 2 guys on a mission right now. And I think all that Giannis talking that he was doing before, Giannis needs to man up. He needs to come out here. Giannis needs to fight. He needs to do something. He needs to take somebody out there. He needs to knock Kevin Durant on his behind. He needs to do something because if Giannis don't get it going, they're going to cook again and buy another 30 ball.
No doubt they are outmatched, outnumbered, out everything except for James Harden. However, that was 2 home games in Brooklyn. I am not getting ready to throw this series all the way over to them just yet. Now, I will say this. If they don't win, if the Bucks don't win tonight, it is over. They have to win. This is a must win. They must come out like this is insanity or die. Like they just got done sipping all kinds of crazy Kool-Aid. They must come out there possessed and take the rightful game, their first game at home in this series. They have to take this game. If they don't, then you're absolutely right. It's over. I'm not going to just cancel them out. Game 3s are always kind of interesting like that. It puts things into a different perspective. So now you have the winning team on the road, relaxed, and you have a desperate team coming in. We'll see.
Well, you know who's taking a different track now are the LA Clippers. What the Clippers are going to do this year, instead of going up like 2-0, 3-0, the Clippers are actually going to go down 0-3 and then fight their way back to win a series. That's what they're going to do. It has to work in reverse. It has to, because, I mean, for the past few years, look, man, let me just put it this way. When Donovan Mitchell's on and you don't even have Mike Conley and you've got Rudy Gobert doing Gobert things, it's going to be hard for any team. It's going to be hard for any team to stop them, but especially when you look at a non-strong perimeter-based or paint-based team like the Clippers. What say you?
And is Gobert the best athletic defensive player you've ever seen?
He's like a super strong Tyson Chandler.
He's super strong, agile, and he can stay with people, and he blocks shots without fouling. I mean, he's one of the most intimidating forces that we've seen in basketball in a long time. And not scary intimidating, just intimidating to the fact like he's going to D you up and turn you away. And he's been slapping people's shots away. I mean, I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was this good. And I just think he's going to get better. This guy's amazing.
Well, I'll agree with you on one thing. As the harbinger of the coronavirus in the NBA, I mean, and he managed to stay alive and didn't get whatever, and everybody just kind of took it and was like, oh, well, Rudy Gobert is just a great guy. I would have been furious about that little shenanigans. So, yeah, I'll give him credit for that. I'm not ready to crown him and say he's the greatest big defensive player of all time. I think he's great, phenomenal. But this series is not over either.
No, this series is just beginning.
Well, the thing about it, though, but it looked like that fatigue jumped on the Clippers. Like the Clippers made this big push, and all of a sudden, you said in the third quarter, they got outscored 32-19. It's like they got to make this superhuman push to even stay close with the Jazz. Now, all of a sudden, you see the Jazz just playing their normal game, what they play, and they accelerate and go away from the Clippers when the Clippers can run out of gas. I think this is going to be an ongoing situation. I do not know if Kawhi Leonard has it in him to keep bringing it for 48 minutes, because I think that's what you're going to need is one of those phenomenal performances from Kawhi Leonard to make this team go after Utah like it needs to go after them so that they can impose their will. I just think in a short way, I just think the Clippers are a little afraid of the Utah Jazz because, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Interesting.
Very
I think the Clippers are diabetic. They're type 2 diabetic. They have a team diabetic. Yep.
The key to this series is Donovan Mitchell, no doubt. But on the Clippers side, and you have, I would say, two top-tier defensive players with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. They have to figure out a way to at least contain him. I'm not saying you have to put the lamps on him, but you got to slow him down.
Can we definitively say at this point, Paul George is a super anything? Can we say that maybe like Batman, Robin, and then Batgirl or Red Hood?
Send all of your comments to SIZZLE at info@ironskilletsports.com.
I'm just saying, like Batgirl is not in all of the fights. She's not always there. So, I mean, like sometimes she comes in and you're like, oh, hey, there's Batgirl.
And you're still going. Oh, my God.
I'm just saying, I don't know if we can just keep saying that Paul George is great at anything, but he does have nice rolls, corn rolls.
Paul George, before he became a superstar, was known for his defense. Plays good defense. He has, and when he wants to, he can. Same with Kawhi Leonard. That's why I says you're not going to do anything with Gobert, but Gobert is not going to – he's not going to break out for 35 points. That's not his game.
He's not. No.
But Donovan Mitchell, on the other hand, you've got to figure out a way to get the ball out of his hand. If they can do that, the series will turn the Clippers' way. That's a big feat. But like I said, with 2 top-tier defensive players, they've got to figure it out.
That's true. So at this point, gentlemen, with tonight's 2 games, we're saying that who comes out of this Nets series victorious from tonight, just Nets Bucks tonight, who is the one that you think is going to pull out this game 3 victory?
Oh, epic bushwhacking going to happen today. Another 30 ball. Because I think Giannis has figured it out that guy over there is a bad man. And that little guy over there with the fro, he's a badder man. And we don't have enough to beat those 2 guys. I think you just see Kevin Durant right now is saying we are the best team in the NBA. I need to win this championship because for my legacy, because everyone said I went down to Golden State and just chased some rings down there that I didn't deserve to get. Now let me show you who I really am after an Achilles injury that should have kept me sidelined for the rest of my career. I just came out bigger and badder. The Slim Reaper is back again.
Yeah,
All right.
That's kind of like Batman and Robin. Like if Robin were Damian and he was just an evil twin. So Kyrie Irving is Damian, and then
volume of Marvel did you just go to? Did you just pulled that information?
I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm tired. I thought about it. I was like Kevin. I mean, Kevin Durant is like Ra's al Ghul. He's like an evil overlord that you know is there, but you don't know how you can kill him. But you know at some point he can. You just don't know how. And that's what's happened with Giannis. Giannis has figured out he is an evil overlord, and I cannot stop him. So, yeah, and then he's got, like, super slim Kyrie Irving. Like, he's been on the WW. He looks really good, and I need to, if Kyrie, if you could just show me some of your slim techniques, I could.
Kyrie got his bag of shaking. Y'all remember shake and bake? You have to put the chicken in the bag and shake it up.
Oh, yeah.
Kyrie got the shake and bake in that. And you know how you used to mix the lemon pepper shake and bake with the barbecue shake and bake? Remember how I used to hook them 2 up? That's what Kyrie Irving's doing to him. He's hitting them with a new flavor of shake and bake that's only going to get worse. The more these guys play together, the better they're going to be. We haven't even seen the best of the Brooklyn Nets yet.
I agree, but I think this game goes to Milwaukee. Like G Sizzle says, they come out physical, they come out aggressive, they remind the world what Giannis can offensively and defensively, and they sneak one out.
Now you got the cream mocha killer waiting for you over on that other side with the Nets and Blake Griffin. I think you're going to see an explosion out of Blake Griffin. I think it's coming. He's due for a high 25 to 30-point ball game and 10 rebounds. I think it's coming because I think he's feeling it.
Have you ever had to charge up an electric vehicle? I'm just asking. You know how long that takes? I mean, I remind you that Blake Griffin played his heart out game 1 and game 2. Eventually, he's got to recharge. And I think this is the game he goes and he plugs in and he's got to sit idle for a little while. I'm just saying.
But hasn't he been recharging for the last 3 years, though? I mean, Blake Griffin has not been Blake Griffin for 3 years. I mean, he's been sitting on the bench just plugged in like, and you got to remember, too, this is a guy who's looking to is he a slam dunk Hall of Famer, Blake Griffin? And I use that. That pun was intentional. But
you mean
does he?
If there was
a automatic
slam dunk Hall of Fame?
Does he automatically? Has Blake Griffin done enough to be inducted and put into the Hall of Fame, the Naismith Hall of Fame?
No.
He needs this. He needs this championship to even be considered.
I don't even know who.
And at one point in time,
facts.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he might from basketball. Maybe while he was out Oklahoma, maybe he was. No.
I mean, wasn't he with CP3 at one point in time? Is my memory failing me?
Yeah,
Wasn't he one of the most dominant duo? One of the most dominant duo that we've ever seen in the NBA at one point in time?
But they disappeared in the playoffs.
All that. Well, I mean, all that counts,
time.
though. You go revisionist history, all that still counts. But he needs that punch. He's almost like that boxer at the end where, okay, you need this last round. You need this last round. All of a sudden, they start swinging for the fences in the last 20 seconds to try to get the judges to say, oh, okay, look, they did win the fight. I think Blake Griffin is in that situation saying, look, I'm going to do what I can do to lead this ball club to get to this championship. And if I can shine at any point in time with these two guys here, somebody's going to remember, hey, remember what Blake Griffin did when he was in Nets, when Harden went down and he took over that number 3 spot and he played. That might be enough to get him the nod to get into the Hall of Fame.
Well, now that we're talking about dreams and fantasies, let's talk about the dream and fantasy with LA. And okay, Rich, I'm going to ask you first because I know Jay's going to come up with something colorful. Do you think that LA has a shot tonight to win this game?
Yeah, sure. If they follow what I just said, shut down Donovan Mitchell.
Okay,
it's
won't
real
be
simple.
done.
It's real simple. It's like playing chess. Take that queen off the board and pound. Just go in there methodical.
Wait, did you say take the Dairy Queen off the board?
What?
The queen.
I thought you said take some Dairy Queen off the board.
Well, some of them do look like they gained a little bit of weight. However, I digress.
Yes.
You have to take that big piece off the board. And then eventually in the playoffs, there is some point where defense does play a part. And this is one of them parts where you've got to step up defensively and show what you guys are made of.
Okay. Jay Sizzle, last word. Do we see a Clippers victory over the Utah Jazz?
If we see another DeMarcus Cousins sighting, if we see DeMarcus Cousins, look. Let's say this now.
Okay.
You've got two guys leading this ball club that both want to go to the exit doors. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard do not want to lead this ball club. So now you're looking at the role players coming off the bench, having to play bigger moments and bigger situations than what they're supposed to be in. Tyronn Lue went deep into his bench, and you start pulling people out who should not be out there on the floor. I believe that you're going to see a ball club who finally understands what it means to have a team be superior to you in many different ways, and you can't figure it out. I think the Utah Jazz are going to smack them again because I believe Paul George just doesn't have it in him. He's not dog enough to put this team on his back because Kawhi Leonard is always going to be Robin. He's always going to be, who's that? You always had the Joker who was like the number one criminal. Kawhi Leonard's like the Penguin. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a bad dude, but Batman wasn't really worried about him. But the Joker, he was always worried about the Joker. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's a situation right now that neither one of these guys have it in them to lead this ball club. And I just think Utah Jazz are just too superior to me in different ways. And I think the Utah Jazz wins this game running away.
Well, let me say this before we close out. Let me offer my apologies again to Batgirl. I forgot how strong Batgirl was, and it was an unfair comparison with you and Paul George. You are far superior, and you're a better technical wizard.
How does she fight in those high heel boots? How does she do? How does Catwoman fight in the outfit she's got on? I just don't think that's conducive to combat sports.
Well, at some point you just have to just let Catwoman do what Catwoman does. Now,
all right. So who was the better Catwoman, Halle Berry or the one from? I forgot what her name was. The one from
stop.
From the series.
When
I think the one
Halle
from the series was better.
You just said Halle Berry.
Goodness gracious.
Halle Berry has a whole song. Halle Berry. She has a song.
Was a
If you ask
horrible.
David Justice, he don't say that.
Wait a minute. Now,
David
wait.
Justice.
Did you ask
said
who
it.
was the
I
best
said it.
actress? Now, we didn't say
said
who was
it.
the best actress.
Well, okay, who
That's
was the
what I
best
said.
actor?
Who was the better Catwoman?
Who was the better Catwoman?
Oh, I thought you said who looked better in the cat suit.
No, he said
No.
who's
I'm
the
sorry.
better
Who
Catwoman.
was
I
the
was like,
better Catwoman?
Oh, Eartha Kitt.
and you talking about Anne Hathaway? That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, Anne
Yeah.
Hathaway. Anne Hathaway was great.
Anne Hathaway by a mile.
Yeah, by great. Halle Berry. I mean, come on.
Eartha Kitt.
Was she believable? Eartha Kitt. Marcus. I can't even do it. I can't even. Boomerang is one of the most funniest unsung movies that you ever, because Eartha Kitt was fabulous. Just to play the cougar, you know, the consequential, the cougar, the commensurate one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Hilarious.
I don't know how
that's
we
great.
got to this situation where we're talking about
Oh.
Anne Hathaway or Halle Berry, but Miss Berry, I just want you to know you are always Catwoman number one in your suit.
Hey, wasn't it Alicia Silverstone that played Batgirl? Did she play Batgirl?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She should have played Batgirl. She was miscast. You didn't believe she was Batgirl.
You know, the same thing I'm saying about Paul George.
Oh, you believe? Oh, you don't? You don't believe he's an NBA superstar? Is that what you're saying? Wow.
I believe he's in the NBA. I see him there.
That,
Yeah.
and that's what the problem, and that's why you see the greatness of the Nets, right? Because you see Kyrie and KD who are just flat out dogs, who are just flat out dogs, and you just don't see this with Kawhi, who was at one point in time, people were saying was the second best player in the league behind LeBron James. Remember that? Way back in the day? Remember that?
Well, I know who's going to be the
Some
best
people put him
player.
above LeBron James.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But
And
the
that-
new one is going to be Patrick Williams. I'm just telling you. Patrick Williams
I gotta
is
go.
going to come back
I
in.
gotta go.
You know,
So-
just when I'm just going to throw my whole dinner away now because now you
Right,
just made my stomach hurt.
Well, you
I
know
gotta
who
go to
it
the
is.
bathroom. I'm sorry, guys.
Get well, Kobe White.
You know who it is. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle here on Iron Skillet Radio, Iron Skillet Television. Look, make sure that you can find us, the podcast. You can find the YouTube. Look for hashtag Iron Skillet Sports. We're there. You can find us anywhere you want to find this content. And always remember, we are the hottest sports talk. We are all the smoke, all the fire, all the flame. We are all Batman, Robin, and Catwoman with Batgirl on the side.
Who's Catwoman? Which one of us is Catwoman? No, you who's that, sir?
I'm not Catwoman.
I'm not either. G-Sizzle? Yeah, you got the boots in the closet? What's going on?
I'm not even in Gotham. All right, so
Yeah. Where's Gotham anyway?
I am a Wakandan. So I don't speak to these. I don't just speak to these foolish conversations. I have Wakandanness running through me.
you about the size of M'Baku. I mean, geez.
Ah!
Oh,
Wow.
well, okay. See, here we
Wow.
go. That's all right. That's all right.
Why
Yeah,
must I
yeah.
chase the cat? Yeah.
Why
You
must
walk
I?
in the room and this big, massive, just barking and growling guy just comes out of nowhere, rips his mask off, and just starts talking too much. Like, oh my god, yeah, that's definitely you, man.
That's all right.
Yeah,
I
that-
could be that guy.
Yeah, you could have you would have been cast perfectly in that role. That's right.
That's all right. That's all right. I wouldn't be in boots, in heels, like Paul George. All right, so you know who it is. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle, and we'll see you on the other side.
Oh man.
Make sure that you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Iron Skillet Sports. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to